Hi there, welcome to my latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this one is a civil war that's continuing within the SNP ranks, and it's absolutely fantastic to stand back and watch it. It's incredible. Now, the latest episode of this civil war that's broke out between the SNP and having them all fall out with each other and demand apologies, etc., is from that very fact that Joanna Cherry, the SNP for Westminster, SNP MP at Westminster, is taking offence to the remarks by Mhairi Black last week. Mhairi Black, you might remember, was on Radio Times and been interviewed and was a bit disingenuous towards her colleagues in Westminster and had a right rant and explaining why she was no longer wanting to work at Westminster. So she's now being countered by Joanna Cherry, who is demanding, as I say, an apology after being told that the SNP members down in Westminster were too comfortable in Westminster, amongst other things. She's called for Mhairi Black, the SNP's deputy leader in Westminster, nonetheless, to live up to her responsibilities or give over her post to somebody else. Now, several news outlets have ran with this story about Joanna Cherry and have contacted Mhairi Black, but unfortunately she's been unable to respond to any of them after the remarks that she made in the Times Radio last week. She said that the culture of Westminster meant MPs had lost touch with reality. And she said that the place was outdated, sexist, and toxic working environment, which is why she was leaving. She also cited concerns over social media safety and unsociable hours. It's a wee shame that, innit? They have to work unsociable hours. And she also, this is Mhairi Black, spoke to the BBC about her struggles with imposter syndrome, which is a psychological state where people doubt their skills and accomplishments or get a fear of being seen as a fraud. I'd just like to give you some assurances there, Mhairi. You definitely, you don't suffer from that. You are a fraud. You've not got imposter syndrome. That means that you would feel like an imposter when you're not really, but you are. You and the vast majority of your colleagues down in Westminster, if not all, are indeed frauds and imposters. But this is what she said. I have seen folk who you would have thought would have been the first ones marching to the border with claymores, but now absolutely love being in London. I wouldn't expect that. That's a bit derogatory, isn't it, about your colleagues, which no wonder Ms. Cherry was so upset about it. She said when when she talked about Stephen Flynn, who Miss Cherry says he's doing a great job. He's SNP's Westminster leader, Stephen Flynn. He's another crackpot. Anyway, Miss Cherry said that she believed he's doing a great job, but criticised Miss Black's comments, saying, when he made Mhairi his deputy, he gave her a position of great responsibility, particularly in the election year, when so many of our colleagues are facing difficult fights to hang on to their seats. Now we're getting to the point, huh? And I don't think it's appropriate for Mhairi to be attacking her colleagues publicly. She needs to live up to her responsibilities or give the post to someone who will. And I'm hoping that Mhairi will apologise to her colleagues this week. Miss Cherry denied that she or her SNP colleagues were too comfortable at Westminster and defended their policy of sitting and voting in the House of Commons. So I think in Miss Cherry's rant of why she was unhappy with Mhairi Black, I think she sort of gave the game away, because I've commented on this regularly about my feelings that these folk down in Westminster have got one thing in their mind, and that is when so many of our colleagues are facing difficult fights to hang on to their seats. That's all they care about. Miss Cherry's probably not that bothered about what Ms. Black said, but she's well aware, and it's another good indicator for those who deny when I say the SNP are fighting for their seats. We get some of the cybernats on the comments, and I love it when they come on the comments. I do. I genuinely like when nationalists come on the comments because they fall into two brackets. They either fall into ones that are actually quite sensible and are turning off the SNP, or complete crackpots that probably have SNP calendars in their bedroom. And they are hilarious. And they tell me that they're probably going to get more seats if there's a general election in England, Westminster Parliament, soon. But here we go. A Westminster MP for the SNP, her verbatim quote, particularly in an election year when so many of our colleagues are facing difficult fights to hang on to their seats. My opinion is the exact same on this one point as Joanna Cherry, an MP for the SNP. And where are we? This is Ms Cherry. It's not easy being an opposition member of Parliament at Westminster, but if you work and if you're present there and if you build alliances and you can achieve success. I've shown that in the past when I built a cross-party alliance to stop Boris Johnson's unlawful prorogation of Parliament, and many of my SNP colleagues had a significant success in relation to other issues. But she doesn't continue with telling us what any of these issues are. But it's hard work doing that. It's not always a terribly glamorous situation. It's easy to stand up and make speeches. It's much harder to work hard behind the scenes to create alliances to achieve reform. And until independence comes, we still have SNPs at Westminster and we're paid to do a job. And there, I believe in doing that. And then I love this wee comment. You get this a lot in mainstream media, particularly obviously online and in printed papers. The SNP have been approached to comment. And then no comment for SNP. So what that tells you is they're just covering up to try and show balance. A newspaper would normally speak to both parties. But what they're saying is we try to get Mhairi Black, we try to get SNP, and they're not wanting to get involved in talking about this, which is a great sign because they probably couldn't say anything that wouldn't make the situation even worse. These MPs in Westminster that are paid fortunes, and as I showed on yesterday's video, Tommy Shepherd, his expenses for that one last year of accounted figures, had spent £75,000 on expenses. And they love it. They lap it up. They don't pay for anything. Their wages are their wages. They don't pay for travel, they don't pay for accommodation. When they go down to Westminster, they don't even pay for meals. They're given an allowance for everything that they do. Rightly or wrongly, that's just fact. And his was £75,000. So it meant his wages are his to do whatever he pleases. If he got the same wages in a normal job, he would probably need to drive himself to work and pay for that, and feed himself, things like that, you know, things that these guys get free as members of Parliament in Westminster. So I'm absolutely lapping this up. I need to be honest with you. I detest in case you've not noticed, I detest the SNP with a passion. I detest everything they stand for. I detest their morals. I would not be saddened if we were never to see another MP in Westminster representing the SNP, or indeed Holyrood after the next elections there. And to stand back and watch this civil war erupting within their party, and seeing such selfish behaviour and self-preservation, that's all they're interested in, by all of their members over the next 6 to 9 months while we wait for a general election at Westminster. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it shows you the right lack of leadership in their party, because you've got Humza, who's a party leader and capable of calming these situations down. And you've got a guy in Westminster, party leader there, Flynn, completely inept at controlling 50, 60 people under his watch. And long may it continue, because they're just getting themselves a right showing up. All they're interested in, the self-preservation society, is incredible, and it's so obvious. And I think I know we will see far more of this as we get closer to the much anticipated general election at Westminster. I cannot wait. Anyway, enjoy the video. Give me a thumbs up, please. If you want to see more, subscribe and hit the notification. Round about here in the video, you'll see some recommendations if you want to see more of the videos. But most importantly of all, have a great day. Bye now.